very close to home here in New York. Over the weekend, you stepped into purposefully a situation between Charles Oakley and the Knicks management. Where does that go from here, and why did you feel the need to step in?
I felt the need to step in because I've known Charles Oakley for a long time, probably at least 20 years since he was a player, and now as a retired player. He's done things with the league office over the years, and so he's someone I know has a big heart, and I think he feels he was misunderstood. And then conversely, of course, with Jim Dolan and the Knicks, it was just a very bad situation. I think, it was one of those moments that should have never happened. I think that it's difficult from a security standpoint to say exactly what should have happened once the confrontation began, but all I know is that these are the kinds of things that you work to avoid, and you work by building relationships so they never happen. And I had the sense that if I got the two of them to sit down together face to face, they were this close to each other, talking directly to each other, they would both get a chance to get off their chest, how they were feeling about the situation and move towards a reconciliation. And Michael Jordan joined us as well. Of course, not only is he now an owner, but he's a former teammate and close friend of Charles Oakley. I thought he did an excellent job sort of also as a mediator, just helping both sides see each other's issues. And so I hope where it goes from here is that, again, Jim Dolan invited Charles Oakley to come as his guest to a game at Madison Square Garden. I talked to Charles about doing additional things with the league. We do things not only around the United States, but around the world, and just building back the relationship. It's no question that the New York fans love him, and so I'm saying, let's just get you back out there being part of the NBA family, and let's resolve this matter sort of within the family. And that's how it was left.
And you feel like it's resolved at this point to your satisfaction?
Yeah, well, it's one of these things. I recognize that a lot had built up over many years, especially with Charles, and I think it's one of those things that wasn't going to get resolved overnight. He was very emotional about the meeting, and I understood that, and I think Jim and Michael Jordan understood that as well. So I think it's one of the things, one step at a time, but the first step was getting them together. I thought it was I was appreciative of Jim Dolan saying, come back to the Garden, come as my guest to a game, and let's go from there. And they shook hands, and frankly, they both looked at each other at the end, and they both apologized. And I thought that, again, the very important first step.